The massive alien ship drifted through space like a metal mountain. Inside its command center, Admiral Kethver studied the glowing screens with his 4 golden eyes. The data stream showed everything his science teams had learned about the small blue planet called Earth. "Primitive," he said to his officers. "Very primitive." The other aliens nodded. They had seen this before. Another young species that had barely learned to fly between planets. The humans still used chemical rockets. They still fought wars with metal bullets. Some of them still believed in invisible gods. "Look at this," said Science Officer Veltar, pointing at a screen. "They fight each other constantly. Wars every few years. They poison their own air and water. They cannot even agree on simple things." Kethver clicked his mandibles together. This was going to be easy. In his 300 years of service, he had conquered 47 worlds for the hegemony. Most species surrendered after seeing his fleet. The smart ones knew they could not win. "How many ships do they have?" he asked. 200 small craft, maybe 50 larger ships. "Nothing that could damage our shields," replied Veltar. The Admiral felt satisfied. His fleet had 800 ships. Each one was 5 times larger than the biggest human vessel. His weapons could turn entire cities into glass. His shields could stop anything these humans might throw at them. "Send the standard message," he ordered. 72 hours to surrender completely. Far away on Earth, Captain Sarah Chun received the alien message aboard the human flagship, U.S. Defiance. She had been expecting something like this ever since the deep space monitors detected the alien fleet 3 days ago. The message was simple and direct. "People of Earth, we are the Zephyrian hegemony. Your planet has resources we need. You have 72 hours to surrender your world completely. Any resistance will result in total destruction. This is your only warning." Chun played the message for her senior staff. The bridge fell silent. Outside the viewports, Earth looked peaceful and blue. It was hard to believe that death was coming from the stars. "How many ships?" asked Commander Martinez, her second in command. "Our scouts count 800, maybe more behind those." Chun pointed at the tactical display showing the alien formation. "And we have 300 ships total. Half of them are barely armed cargo vessels." Chun sat back in her chair. The numbers were bad. Very bad. "Captain," said her communications officer, "we're getting calls from every government on Earth. They want to know what we're going to do." Chun looked around at her crew. These were good people. Trained soldiers who had served in the Mars conflicts and the asteroid mining wars. They knew what real fighting looked like. But this was different. This was not humans fighting humans. This was survival of the species. "What do you think we should do?" she asked her crew. The answers came quickly. "Fight. Never surrender. Make them pay for every inch," Chun smiled. She had expected nothing less from these warriors. Humans had never been good at giving up. It was not in their nature. Back on the alien flagship, Kethver was reviewing reports from other conquered worlds. The pattern was always the same. First came denial, then panic, then desperate negotiations. Finally, surrender. Admiral called his communications officer. "We are receiving a response from the humans already. It has only been 12 hours. Usually they take the full time to think about it." Kethver was pleased. Quick surrender was always easier. "What did they say?" The communications officer hesitated. "The message is very short, sir. Just one word." "What word?" "No." Kethver's golden eyes widened. In 300 years, no species had ever replied with just no to his surrender demand. There were always conditions, always negotiations, always fear. "Are you certain that is the complete message?" "Yes, Admiral. Just one word. No." The bridge fell silent. Kethver felt something he had not experienced in decades. Uncertainty. How do you negotiate with someone who simply says no? Perhaps they do not understand the situation, suggested Voltar. Should we send a demonstration? Destroy one of their cities? No, said Kethver. That comes later. First we wait for the full 72 hours. Maybe they will come to their senses. But on Earth, humans were not coming to their senses. They were preparing for war. In every shipyard, workers loaded weapons and supplies. Pilots ran final checks on their fighters. Soldiers cleaned their rifles and checked their equipment. Captain Chun walked through the hangar bay of the Defiance. Young pilots were painting messages on their fighters. Remember Luna. Terra forever. Human pride. She stopped at one fighter where Pilot Officer Jackson was writing something different. What does that say? She asked. It says, "Come and take it, Captain." It's something humans used to say when enemies demanded their weapons. Chun nodded. These aliens had studied human technology and human governments, but they had not studied the human spirit. They did not understand that humans had been fighting for survival since they first stood upright on the African plains. The 72 hours passed slowly. Around Earth, the human fleet took positions. They were outnumbered 3-1. Their ships were smaller and weaker. Their weapons were primitive compared to alien technology, but they had something the aliens did not expect. They had the fury of a species that refused to kneel. When the deadline came, Chun sent her reply to the alien fleet. It was not one word this time. It was a message that would echo through the galaxy for generations. To the Zephyrian hegemony. We have considered your offer. We reject it completely. If you want our world, come and take it. But understand this. Every human you kill will kill 10 of you in return. Every ship you destroy will take 3 of yours down with it. We are not the primitive species you think we are. We are the children of a world that has been trying to kill us for millions of years, and we have learned how to kill it back. You picked the wrong species to threaten. Come and find out why. Admiral Kethver read the human message 3 times. His officers watched him carefully. In all their years of conquest, they had never received a response like this one. Most species begged for mercy. These humans were promising to kill them. Sir? Asked Veltar. Your orders? Begin the attack. Standard formation. Target their military bases first. Once they see our power, they will surrender. The hegemony fleet moved toward Earth like a slow storm. Their ships were beautiful and deadly, with smooth curves and glowing energy weapons. They had destroyed armies and conquered worlds. The humans would be no different. Captain Chun watched the alien ships approach on her tactical display. Each enemy vessel was massive compared to human ships. Their weapons could probably vaporize the Defiance with a single shot. But humans had learned long ago that size did not always win battles. All ships, this is Admiral Chun, she said into her communicator. During the 3-day wait, Earth's leaders had promoted her to overall fleet commander. Remember the plan. Hit fast, hit hard, and make them pay for everything. The first alien ships entered Earth's defensive zone. They moved with confidence, expecting easy victory. The lead cruiser, massive as a city block, aimed its main guns at Luna Base. That was when the humans struck. Fighter pilot Maria Santos dove her tiny ship directly at the alien cruiser's bridge. Her fighter was barely 20 meters long compared to the kilometer-long enemy ship. But humans had learned that sometimes the smallest things could cause the biggest damage. This is for my brother, she whispered, thinking of her sibling who had died in the asteroid mines. She fired every missile she had, then crashed her fighter into the alien bridge at full speed. The explosion was small compared to the size of the alien ship, but it destroyed the command center, sending the massive cruiser spinning out of control. Across the battle zone, other human pilots were doing the same thing. They called it the Hornet strategy. Even a small insect could kill a giant if it hit the right spot. Admiral Kethfer watched in shock as his ships took damage from these suicidal attacks. No civilized species fought this way. Soldiers were supposed to retreat when they were outnumbered. They were supposed to value their own lives. "Sir, we have lost 6 ships to ramming attacks," reported his tactical officer. "The humans are flying their fighters directly into our vessels." "Impossible," Kethfer said. "No species is that insane." But the reports kept coming. Human ships, when damaged beyond repair, did not try to escape. Instead, they set course for the nearest alien vessel and crashed into it at maximum speed. Human ground forces, when surrounded, did not surrender. They detonated nuclear devices that killed themselves and everyone around them. On Luna Base, First Lieutenant Maria Vasquez led her squad in defending the main communications center. The aliens had landed thousands of soldiers to capture it. Her squad had only 40 Marines. "How many are out there?" asked Private Johnson, checking his rifle. "Does not matter," Vasquez replied. "We hold this position until relieved or until we are all dead." The alien soldiers were professional fighters with advanced armor and energy weapons. They should have captured the base in hours. Instead, they found themselves fighting humans who turned every room into a battlefield. Vasquez's Marines used everything as weapons. When they ran out of bullets, they used knives. When the knives broke, they used rocks and metal bars. When an alien soldier wounded Marine Corporal Davis, she pulled the pin from a grenade and held her enemy close until it exploded. "These humans are mad," reported the alien ground commander to his ship. "They fight like cornered animals. They show no fear." "Just take the base," ordered the ship's captain. "Sir, we have taken 90% of it. But they keep fighting. Every room costs us more soldiers. At this rate, we will have no troops left." That was when the humans revealed another surprise. The Luna Base Communication Center contained something the aliens had not expected. A nuclear self-destruct system. As alien soldiers finally broke into the main control room, Vasquez smiled at them. Her uniform was torn and bloody, but her eyes were bright with satisfaction. "Welcome to Luna Base," she said in perfect alien language that her computer had taught her. "Population, about to be 0. She pushed the red button. The explosion vaporized the entire base and everything within 5 kilometers. 400 alien soldiers died instantly. The aliens had taken Luna Base, but now it was just radioactive dust. Admiral Kethfer felt something cold in his stomach as he received the reports. His forces were winning, but the cost was terrible. For every human they killed, his army lost 3 soldiers. For every human position they captured, they lost ships and equipment. "Sir," said Veltar carefully, "perhaps we should reconsider our strategy." "What do you mean?" "These humans do not fight like other species. They do not care about survival. They care about making us pay the highest price possible." Kethfer looked at his casualty reports. In 3 days of fighting, he had lost more ships than in his last 5 conquests combined. The humans were not winning the battle, but they were making victory cost too much. "Send a message to the Hegemony Council," he ordered. "Request immediate reinforcements. Full battle fleet." "Sir, that is 8,000 ships." "Are you certain?" Kethfer watched another human fighter ram itself into one of his destroyers. The small ship barely damaged the alien vessel, but the explosion took out the destroyer's main sensors. "I am certain," he said. "These humans are not like other species. They fight wars the way other species fight for their lives. And I think they like it." On Earth, Captain Chen received reports from the battle. The numbers were terrible. They had lost 60 ships on most of Luna Base. The aliens had lost only 12 ships and some troops, but she was smiling. "Captain?" asked Commander Martinez. "The casualties." Look at the alien formation, Chun interrupted. She pointed at the tactical display. See how they have spread out? They used to fly in tight groups. Now they keep distance between ships. So they are afraid of our ramming attacks. They are changing their tactics because of us. An army that has to change its plans is an army that can be beaten. Chun activated the fleet communication system. All ships, this is Admiral Chun. Phase 1 is complete. The aliens now know that humans do not surrender. Phase 2 begins now. Let's teach them that humans do not forgive either. In the depths of space, the human fleet regrouped. They had lost the first battle, but they had learned something valuable. The aliens could be hurt. They could be frightened. And most importantly, they could be killed. The war was just beginning. 3 weeks had passed since the first battle. Admiral Kethver stood in his command center reading reports that made no sense. The humans were doing impossible things. Show me the weapon analysis again, he ordered. Science Officer Veltar activated the holographic display. It showed a human fighter firing an energy weapon that looked exactly like hegemony technology. How is this possible? Kethver asked. We have only been fighting for 3 weeks. It takes most species 50 years to understand our technology. The humans captured one of our damaged cruisers on day 4 of the war, Veltar explained. By day 8, they were building copies of our weapons. By day 15, they were improving them. The display showed more disturbing images. Human ships now carried hybrid weapons that combined human and alien technology. Somehow, these primitive humans had taken hegemony energy cannons and made them more powerful. Dr. Elizabeth Reeves worked in a secret underground laboratory in Colorado. Around her, human engineers and scientists studied pieces of alien technology like detectives solving a puzzle. The air smelled of metal and electrical burns. The energy flow here is inefficient, she said, pointing at the alien weapon design on her computer screen. They use too many conversion steps. If we bypass this section and redirect the power through these crystals. Her assistant, Dr. Park, shook his head. Dr. Reeves, we have been studying this for only 12 days. The aliens probably spent centuries perfecting this design. That's their problem, Reeves replied with a smile. They perfected it for their needs. We're adapting it for human needs. We don't need their safety systems or their power regulations. We just needed to kill aliens more efficiently. She activated the test weapon. The energy beam that emerged was twice as bright and 3 times more powerful than the original alien version. Humans have one advantage, she told her team. We don't care if it's dangerous to use. We care if it works. Meanwhile, something else was happening on Earth that the aliens had not expected. The human nations that had been enemies for centuries were working together like they had been allies forever. President Martinez of the Americas spoke with Premier Chun of the Asian Federation and Chancellor Okafor of the African Union. 6 months ago, these 3 leaders had been arguing over trade routes and territory borders. Now they plan strategy against a common enemy. The Europeans are sharing their railgun technology, reported Martinez. The Asians are providing quantum computer designs. Africa is giving us rare earth minerals for free. What about the Middle Eastern Federation? Asked Chun. They have opened their oil reserves to all human forces. No payment required, replied Okafor. It seems that external threats make internal problems seem very small. This was something the aliens could not understand. The hegemony was an alliance of 12 species, but they still competed with each other for resources and political power. Humans, when threatened, became something different. They became one tribe. Colonel James Harrison led a regiment of human soldiers behind enemy lines on the captured moonbase, Titan. His mission was supposed to be simple reconnaissance. But Harrison had a different idea. Sir, said Sergeant Kim, his communications specialist, Command says we should observe and report. We are not supposed to engage. Harrison looked at the alien supply depot they had been watching for 3 days. Ships landed every few hours, bringing weapons and food to the occupation forces. Sergeant, do you know what humans did when large predators threatened our villages? No, sir. We did not just hide and watch. We hunted them. We tracked them to their dens and killed them while they slept. Harrison smiled. These aliens think they are the predators. Time to show them they are wrong. That night, Harrison's regiment attacked the supply depot with weapons they had built from captured alien equipment and human explosives. They did not try to capture it. They destroyed everything. When alien reinforcements arrived, they found their supply depot burning and 40 alien soldiers dead. The humans had vanished like ghosts, but they left a message written in perfect alien script. We are hunting you now. Admiral Kethfer received the report with growing alarm. How many humans were in this attack? We estimate 50 soldiers, sir. 50 humans destroyed a depot defended by 200 of our troops. Yes, sir. And, sir, there is something else. Intelligence reports similar attacks on 12 other supply bases. All successful, all with small human forces. Kethfer realized something that chilled his alien soul. The humans were not fighting a defensive war anymore. They were hunting his forces like prey animals. But the worst news came from his intelligence division. Commander Zextol entered the bridge with a datapad that he handled like it might explode. Admiral, you need to see this intelligence report about human civilians. What about them? They are not civilians anymore, sir. Every human settlement we have observed has become a military base. Children are building explosive devices. Elderly humans are coordinating resistance networks. Scientists are turning household chemicals into weapons. The report showed images that disturbed the alien officers. Human children, some barely 10 years old, assemble complex bombs with the skill of trained engineers. Grandmothers taught their grandchildren how to shoot alien soldiers from hidden positions. Sir, continued Zextol, we have identified no non-combatant humans. Their entire species has mobilized for war. Kethfer felt something he had not experienced in 3 centuries of military service. Fear. Not fear of losing a battle, but fear of an entire enemy species that treated war like breathing. How many ships have we lost this week? He asked. 47, sir. And how many humans have we killed? Intelligence estimates 12,000. Kethfer did the mathematics in his head. The humans had 8 billion people on their planet. At this rate, his entire fleet would be destroyed before they eliminated even 1% of the human population. Sir, said his communications officer, we are receiving a message from the Hegemony Council. Display it. The holographic image of Counselor Prime Volthara appeared. She looked worried, which was unusual for the leader of 12-star systems. Admiral, we have been monitoring your reports. The Council is concerned about the casualties your fleet is taking. The humans are more resourceful than expected, Kethfer replied carefully. Admiral, in 23 days of combat, you have lost more ships than in our last 10 conquests combined. The Council wants to know if you require additional support. Kethfer looked around his bridge. His officers were listening carefully. He could tell the truth, that these humans were unlike any enemy they had ever faced. Or he could maintain his professional reputation. Send the full battle fleet, he said, and Counselor. Send the War Council's best strategists. We are not fighting a normal species. What do you mean? Kethfer paused, choosing his words carefully. Counselor, we have been studying these humans wrong. We thought they were a primitive species that had recently learned space travel, but I think they are something else. What are they? I think they are a species that has been at war with everything, including themselves, for their entire evolution. And now they are at war with us. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge silent. Outside the viewports, stars glittered like the eyes of predators in the darkness. And somewhere among those stars, humans were planning their next attack. 6 months into the war, Admiral Kethver made the decision that would doom his fleet and terrify the galaxy. He was losing too many ships fighting human soldiers. His advisors suggested a new strategy: attack the civilian populations. Break human morale by targeting their families. The humans fight so fiercely because they protect their non-combatants, argued Commander Zextol. Remove that motivation and they will surrender. Kethver hesitated. The hegemony had rules about civilian targets, but these humans were different. Every human seemed to be a potential soldier. Begin bombardment of population centers, he ordered. Target the largest cities first. The alien fleet turned its massive guns toward Earth cities. Energy beams lanced down from space, turning buildings to ash and glass. In one terrible hour, they killed 3 million humans in New York, London, and Tokyo. The aliens expected this to break human resistance. Instead, it removed the last restraints that had been holding humanity back. Admiral Chun received the casualty reports in her command center. Her staff watched her face carefully as she read the numbers. New York was gone. London was burning. Tokyo was a crater. Admiral? Asked Commander Martinez quietly. Chun looked up at her staff. Her eyes had changed. They were cold now, like winter ice. Send a message to all human forces, she said. Total war protocol is now in effect. Martinez hesitated. Admiral, total war protocol means... I know what it means, Chun interrupted. No prisoners. No mercy. No rules except winning. The aliens wanted to fight a real war. Let's show them what humans do when we stop being civilized. The change in human behavior was immediate and shocking. Human ships that had been fighting with discipline and tactics suddenly became something else. They became hunters with no morality except killing. Captain Rodriguez commanded the human destroyer Vengeance. When his ship took critical damage in battle, he did not try to retreat. Instead, he loaded the ship's nuclear arsenal and flew directly into the center of the alien formation. This is for Earth, he transmitted as his ship exploded, taking 6 alien cruisers with it. But the aliens soon learned that human ships were not the worst threat. The worst threat was human creativity turned toward destruction. Dr. Reeves and her team worked around the clock in their hidden laboratory. But they were no longer just studying alien weapons. They were creating horrors that no civilized species would ever build. The biological weapon is ready, she reported to Admiral Chun. It targets the specific protein chains in Zephyrian blood. It will not affect the other 11 hegemony species, but it will kill any Zephyrian in 48 hours. How do we deploy it? Chun asked. We inject it into captured Zephyrian soldiers and release them. They will carry it back to their ships before symptoms appear. Within a week, every Zephyrian in the fleet will be dead. Chun looked at the test results. The weapon was efficient and targeted. It was also completely against every treaty about biological warfare that humans had ever signed. Do it, she ordered. The biological weapon spread through the Zephyrian crews like invisible fire. Admiral Kethvar himself was one of the first to die, choking on his own blood as his alien immune system failed. But humans were just getting started. Lieutenant Sarah Kim led a team of human hackers who had spent months learning alien computer systems. When the hegemony fleet tried to coordinate their attacks, they found their own networks turned against them. I'm inside their navigation systems, Kim reported to her team. I can make their ships fly into each other. Do it, ordered her commander. Across space, alien ships suddenly changed course without warning. The massive vessels crashed into each other like blind giants. Explosions lit up the darkness as ships designed to destroy planets tore themselves apart. General Patricia Wolf commanded human ground forces on Mars. when alien reinforcements landed on the Red Planet, they expected to fight human soldiers. Instead, they found something that would haunt alien nightmares for generations. Wolf had turned Mars itself into a weapon. The human colonies there were built inside the planet's crust, connected by tunnels and hidden bases. When aliens landed, they found the surface empty. "Where are the humans?" asked the alien ground commander. His answer came from below. Explosions erupted under the alien landing sites as humans detonated charges they had been placing for months. The aliens found themselves fighting an enemy that came from the rocks and soil itself, but Wolf's master stroke was the asteroid trap. She had spent weeks moving small asteroids into orbit around Mars, hiding them from alien sensors. When the alien fleet moved in to support their ground forces, she activated the plan. "All units, execute Falling Sky," she transmitted. The hidden asteroids fired their engines simultaneously, accelerating toward the alien fleet. The aliens had seconds to react before rocks the size of buildings crashed through their hulls at incredible speed. "Impossible," transmitted the alien fleet commander. "You cannot weaponize natural satellites." "Watch us," Wolf replied. The aliens began to understand that humans fought wars differently than any other species. Other civilizations had rules. Humans had only one rule: win. Human soldiers stopped taking prisoners. When they captured alien positions, they used the alien soldiers for biological weapon tests. When alien ships surrendered, humans destroyed them anyway. "They are animals," reported one surviving alien officer to his high command. "They have no honor, no mercy. They fight like wild beasts." But the humans were not wild beasts. They were something worse. They were intelligent predators who had learned to use their civilization as a weapon. Admiral Chun stood on the bridge of her flagship, now rebuilt with hybrid human-alien technology. Around her, tactical displays showed the destruction of the hegemony fleet. In 6 months, they had reduced 8,000 alien ships to fewer than 100. "Admiral," reported her intelligence officer, "we are receiving surrender signals from the remaining alien vessels. Ignore them," Chine ordered. "Admiral? They had their chance to surrender before they killed our civilians. That offer is no longer available." The last alien ship exploded in a flash of nuclear fire. The space around Earth was filled with debris and the dead. The mighty hegemony fleet that had come to conquer humanity was now nothing but wreckage. But the war was not over. Chun activated the long-range communication array and sent a message that would reach every hegemony world within days. To the Zephyrian hegemony and all alien species listening to this transmission, "This is Admiral Sarah Chun of the Human Defense Force. Your fleet came to our world promising death. We have given that gift back to you with interest. But this is only the beginning. You have taught us that we are not alone in the galaxy. You have also taught us that the galaxy is full of enemies who think humans are weak. We will spend the next 100 years proving you wrong. We are coming for your worlds now. Sleep well." In the depths of space, human ships began their journey to the stars. They carried weapons and soldiers and the cold fury of a species that had learned the galaxy was not a friendly place. The prey had become the hunters. 2 years after the first alien ship entered Earth's solar system, Admiral Sarah Chun walked through the corridors of what had once been the hegemony flagship Eternal Glory. Now it was called Humanity Rising, and it served as the command center for humanity's first interstellar fleet. The war was over. The mighty hegemony that had ruled a quarter of the galaxy now existed only in history books. Of the 8,000 ships that had come to conquer Earth, 23 had survived to see the peace negotiations. Chun entered the main conference room, where the alien representatives waited. They looked very different now than they had 2 years ago. Their proud bearing was gone. Their golden eyes held only fear. The surviving alien Admiral Velthara stood when Chen entered. Her hand shook as she offered the formal surrender documents. "Admiral Chen," Valthara said in careful English, "the Hegemony Council accepts your terms completely. Full withdrawal from your solar system. Reparations for war damages. And—" She paused, clearly struggling with the words. "A galaxy-wide warning about human military capabilities." Chen took the documents but did not sit down. She wanted the aliens to remain standing, to remember who had won this war. "The warning message," Chen said. "Read it aloud." Valthara's voice trembled as she read from the prepared text. "To all civilizations in the galaxy. The species known as humans are not to be engaged in warfare under any circumstances. Do not threaten their colonies. Do not attack their ships. Do not test their resolve. They are the apex predators of the galaxy, masquerading as a developing species. Any civilization that provokes humanity will face total destruction." "And you will broadcast this message to every known species?" Chen asked. "Yes, Admiral. The quantum communication network will carry your warning to over 3,000 civilizations within 10 days. Chen nodded. She looked out the massive viewport at the human fleet assembled beyond. Hundreds of ships built with hybrid human-alien technology, each one capable of destroying entire fleets, but more were being built. Earth shipyards worked around the clock, producing vessels designed for exploration, colonization, and conquest. The humans were no longer content to stay in their small solar system. Dr. Elizabeth Reeves entered the conference room carrying a datapad. As humanity's new director of alien technology, she had spent 2 years reverse engineering everything the hegemony had brought to Earth. "Admiral," she reported, "the first colony ships are ready for launch. We have identified 47 star systems with suitable worlds within 50 light-years of Earth." "Colony ships?" asked Valthara nervously. "You mean for peaceful settlement?" Reeves and Chen exchanged glances. The aliens still did not understand what they had unleashed. "We mean forward operating bases," Chen replied. "Humans have learned that the galaxy is not a safe place. We intend to make it safer by controlling more of it." The alien delegation shifted uncomfortably. They had hoped that human expansion would be peaceful, like most species. They were beginning to realize that humans did not colonize like other civilizations. They conquered. On Earth, the victory parades had been magnificent. Every city celebrated the defeat of the alien invaders. But the celebrations had a different feeling than traditional human festivals. There was pride, yes, but also something darker. A hunger for more. President Martinez addressed the world from the rebuilt United Nations building in New York. Behind her, engineers were already constructing launch platforms for the new generation of human warships. "Citizens of Earth," she said, "we have proven that humanity can defend itself against any threat. But defense is no longer enough. We have seen what lurks between the stars. We have learned that the galaxy is full of predators who see peaceful species as prey." She paused, looking directly into the camera. "We will not be prey. We will be the predators that other predators fear." The crowd cheered, but it was not the cheer of a peaceful species celebrating peace. It was the roar of apex predators who had tasted blood and found they liked it. In the months that followed, human ships departed Earth for distant stars. They carried colonists and scientists, but they also carried soldiers and weapons. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when humans decided to expand their territory. The first alien species to encounter human colonists were the peaceful Alterans. They had built a small research station in what they thought was an empty system. When human ships arrived, the Alterans prepared to welcome these new neighbors. Instead, they received a simple message. "This system is now under human protection. You have 24 hours to evacuate. The Alterans tried to negotiate to explain that they had been there first. The human response was direct and final. 23 hours remaining. The Alterans evacuated. They sent complaints to the Galactic Council, but no one wanted to confront humanity. The warning message had been very clear about what happened to species that opposed humans. Back in the conference room of Humanity Rising, Admiral Chun was finishing the peace negotiations. But these were not normal peace terms. They were the conditions of total surrender. The hegemony will provide detailed star maps of all known civilizations. Chan read from her list. You will share all technological data with human research teams. You will establish trade agreements favorable to human colonies. And most importantly, you will serve as advisors in our expansion across the galaxy. Valthara signed each document with shaking hands. Admiral, may I ask a question? Ask. Why do you need advisors for expansion? Your species seems very capable of taking what it wants. Chun smiled, but it was not a warm smile. Because you aliens know where all the good planets are. You know which species are weak and which ones might fight back. You know the trade routes and the resource deposits. You are going to help us build a human empire that spans the stars. And if we refuse, then you join the 99% of your fleet that is already dead. The alien admiral signed the final document without another word. 3 months later, the young Zephyrian cadet Kexvar asked his instructor a question that military academies across the galaxy were struggling to answer. Instructor Velthara, why do we not simply make alliance with the humans? If they are so powerful, would it not be better to be their friends? Velthara, who had once been an admiral commanding fleets, looked at her student with tired eyes. Child, we are at peace with them. This is what peace with humans looks like. But they take any system they want. They ignore our protests. They treat us like servants. Yes, Valthara agreed. And we are grateful for that treatment. I do not understand. Valthara activated a holographic display showing the wreckage of the hegemony fleet. Look at these ships, cadet. Each one carried 5,000 soldiers. Each one had weapons that could destroy cities. All of them now are space debris. She changed the display to show human colonies spreading across nearby star systems like a growing infection. The humans did this to us when we were enemies. Pray to your ancestors you never see what they do to enemies who make them truly angry. The cadet stared at the display in silence. Finally, he asked the question that kept every alien leader awake at night. What have we done? We taught a sleeping predator that the galaxy was full of prey, Valthara replied. And now that predator is awake and hungry. Far away, on the bridge of a human exploration ship entering an unknown star system, Captain Maria Santos studied the sensor readings of a world inhabited by a peaceful species called the Vulcans. They had beautiful cities and advanced art, but no military worth mentioning. Send them the standard message, she ordered her communications officer. The message was always the same. Greetings. This system is now under human protection. Please prepare to receive our diplomatic team to discuss the terms of your integration into human space. It was not really a request. It was an announcement. Santos looked at the peaceful alien world through her viewports and smiled. The galaxy had wanted to play the game of conquest. Now humans were playing it better than anyone had ever imagined, and the game was just beginning.